Hey everybody, it's me, Miss Cassidy here, and we are going to go into Theory Lesson 2. This is the instructional video that goes along with your Theory Lesson 2. This is for an e-learning assignment. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to talk a little bit about what we learned last time, and then today we are going to focus on the treble clef and the treble staff. So your goal by the end of this video is to be able to draw a treble clef, ooh fun, little art project, and to be able to name all of the notes that go on the lines and the spaces on the treble staff. So let's go ahead and jump into this. Last time we learned about the staff. We learned about the 5 equidistant lines that make up the musical staff that tell you what you're looking at when you're reading music. So let's draw those really quickly. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There we go. Now we've got our staff. We need some way of knowing where in the range of music, what notes these are on the staff. And for that we use this thing called a clef. The clef symbol indicates to you what range of notes you're looking at when you're looking at a piece of music trying to read it. So if you imagine the whole piano keyboard, the clef tells you, oh, you're looking at this section right here. You're looking at this range of notes. And we're going to learn about a couple different kinds of clefs, but today we are just going to focus on the treble clef, which is usually for higher music. If you are a soprano or an alto, those are the notes, that's the clef that indicates what notes you sing. That's what I use most of the time. So let's first talk about how we draw a treble clef. This is a fun thing. It's a pretty one. It's also called a G clef sometimes, also called a G clef. There's 2 different recognized ways to draw a clef. I'm going to show you the easy one first, and this is what I recommend if you're not so good at art. This is what I usually do. You start with a vertical line all the way through your staff, just like that, and notice I've gone a little bit below my staff, just a little bit. Then we're going to come back up here to the top. We are going to swoop it to the right, cross, and then make a circle. Look at my beautiful treble clef. And then if you want to be a little fancier, be like Mozart, you can also make a treble clef like this. We start at the bottom, we swoop up, all in one motion, cross again, and make a circle. That's going to be a smoother, more practiced way of doing it, but don't feel like you have to learn that. Okay, so once we have our treble clef, we now need to know what the names of the notes are that appear on all of these lines and all of these spaces. If you've had me in choir before, you should absolutely already know this. But if you don't, or if you're new to choir, this is your time to learn. If you have been in choir, this is a good review for you. So we're going to start with the lines. There's 5 lines, so 5 notes that we need to know on the lines. I'm going to draw my notes on them. Notice that the lines cut right through the center of the circles for these notes. I don't know if you can see that, but that's the way it is. Okay, we're going to use a mnemonic device to help us remember the names of these notes. I like to use this one that is every good boy deserves fudge. So basically what I'm doing is I'm using a word like every, thinking about the first letter of that word, E, and that's telling me that's what that note is. So E, every, and then the next line is G for good. The next line is B for boy. Then we've got D and F. Every good boy deserves fudge. Those are the lines. We also need to think about the spaces. Let me make my staff a little longer here. The spaces. So we've got our 5 notes that go on the staff. In between those, we have our space notes. Notice that these are in the center of the spaces. There's no line cutting through these notes. That's how we differentiate between the space notes and the line notes. This mnemonic device is fun. It just spells a word. It spells space. So we have F, A, C, and E. It spells space. So the bottom space is F, then we have A, and then C, and then E. So you might need to refer back to the mnemonic device when you're first learning these, but eventually you'll just get them memorized. Some important things to remember. Always start at the bottom, go from the bottom to the top. So every good boy deserves fudge, not every good boy deserves fudge. And that's really it. Those are all the things to remember. So on today's assignment, you're going to have to do 3 different things. You're going to have to draw a treble clef, and it helps you out. It gives you something to trace. So when you load it into Notability, make sure that you're doing it in every single measure. You'll have to do a total of 6 treble clefs. You will have to write the letter names that correspond with notes on the staff. So you might see this note, and it'll say, what is this? And you'll say, okay, that's on the second line. So that's a G because every good boy deserves fudge, if you understand. And then it'll also give you a note name like D, and you'll have to write that note on the staff. So you'll be like, okay, D, every good boy deserves, it's the fourth line, and draw a note right there. If you have any trouble, make sure you reach out to me. Good luck, everybody. This is due by the end of the gold day by midnight. So, okay, talk to you all tomorrow. See you later.